Good morning and welcome back. We say hello, Mike Eppel. Midweek, we did it. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. And the sun's out, as you mentioned. I know you're in your basement office, but you know, if you pop on up, check that thing out. It's beautiful. It's glorious.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Well, maybe it'll be a nice sunny day on the markets. We'll see.
We'll see about that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
U.S. inflation numbers. We're expecting that this morning.
Yeah, and this is something, a make or break kind of economic signal for investors right now, simply because the U.S. inflation rate in March was at 8.5%, might come down a little bit to still 8.1%. So we're still talking about the biggest increases in the cost of living on an annual basis since the 1980s. So the inflationary pressures are still there, but if they start to trend lower, does that take a little bit of pressure off the U.S. central bank when we're talking about interest rate policy? And does it finally settle down the markets, which have been selling off? We've talked about the tech sector tumble. The TSX yesterday dropped again, 4-day losing streak, and it's now close to a correction, which means it's down almost 10% from its record high, which was set just back in March. So, yeah, these economic signals right now mean a lot for policy and, of course, everything else that's going on right now that investors have been worried about. And we'll see how things go today. Right now, things look okay, but subject to change, as we know, when we get these economic signals.
It's a long day. A lot can happen.
That's
a lot
right.
of hours in there. The WHO now commenting on the COVID-0 policy in China. And you've been following, obviously, all of the implications on the markets, what's been happening worldwide because of it.
Yeah, well, it's basically slowed one of the world's biggest economies. It's caused all sorts of problems for companies on the supply chain. Tesla, we were talking about this yesterday, how Tesla's basically shut down its production in Shanghai because that city of 25 million people has been under a COVID-0 policy and has been effectively locked down. The WHO says that's not sustainable. China's government says, yes, it is, and they're sticking to it going forward. So you wonder, right, this morning they're talking about, few new cases of COVID being detected in Shanghai. But what about the next time, for example? Does it just go in this vicious cycle where, China is looking at shutting down cities, production, and then the ripple effect it has on the global economy? And that's the big worry, I suppose, another big stumbling block potentially for the markets.
Mike, during the pandemic, a lot of people had their home gyms, right? How many people do you know who got a Peloton or something of the sort, right? And they said, I'm not going to a gym, or either they're not open or I don't feel safe going to a gym at this point. That has shifted now, that thinking.
It sure has. Look, people are going back to gyms. They're getting outside and getting on bikes as opposed to pedaling in place and watching a video screen. And it's showing up in the numbers for Peloton. They had a massive quarterly loss, over $700 million. They've had to line up financing, in fact, for the next 5 years. They did not see the new subscriber growth. The new CEO says they're targeting something like 100 million users, but they've got 7 million, so they're way off that. And the share price, look, we talked about Peloton and companies like Zoom and anything that was related to e-commerce during the pandemic. Well, now that things have opened up, everything's shifted the other way. So Peloton's share price dropped yesterday, Melanie, by 15%. It's down, close to 90% now from its all-time record high.
We got about 30 seconds. We got to talk about those gas prices, where they are, where they're heading.
Yeah, let's leave you with some positive trends here, perhaps, as the price for gas is expected to come down again. 3 cents this time tomorrow morning to just below $1.94. Came down 3 cents at midnight as well tonight, or this morning. So, price for oil's cooled off just a little bit and maybe getting a little bit of a near-term break at the pumps. I don't want to say that it's going to be a long-term trend, but at least it's better for the next couple of days.
I'll cheer for that $1.94. Who knew?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, wouldn't we be saying, wow, what a bargain.
What a deal. All right, have a great day, Mike.
Thank you. You too.
Talk to you tomorrow.